Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to continue watching 90 Day Fiancé. Let's see what happens.
If we get a girl, it's not just for sex. I like to have like a sister and best friend. Especially I'm far away from my country and I don't have a lot of friends.
Okay, so that's a pretty common polyamory wish is I love my fiancé, Tarik, but I also want to have another relationship with someone. And it's not just for sex, it's also for companionship, like a sister, like a best friend. And that's great. It's a tall order. It's hard to find someone that can meet all those needs and be compatible with you and wants to be with you and you want to be with them and Tarik wants to be with them. But it's a worthy journey to go down. I've been on that journey with a lot of polyamorous people. And, you know, it's a wonderful journey, but it has a lot of bumps in the road and it can take a long time. It wouldn't be unusual for the two of them, given what she wants, given all their requirements, so to speak, that it could take 5 years before you find a few people who seem to be compatible with you. It's not uncommon also to find people along the way and you figure, well, you know, you're great, but I don't think we really mesh in the way that I was hoping, but I still like to be involved with you, so maybe we'll get together once a month, this kind of thing. I'm going to go back to the app and I'm going to look for that, you know, soulmate person that I'm really looking for. So I don't expect that in the span of time that the season has left that they're going to find that person because it's hard to do. But, you know, I guess we'll witness their journey.
I want, like in my bio, I'm bisexual. I haven't experienced. That's much better.
We put all of that in there. But half of these are catfishes. She's not a catfish.
But you know, I don't like Asian. I said no Asian.
No, you said no Thai.
Okay, so interesting. She's saying, no Asian. I don't want any Asian girls. I don't want any Asian women. I want a non-Asian woman. Yeah, I wonder what that is. Maybe for her, she wants to expand into other cultures. Maybe she feels threatened by that. And I've seen that actually a lot. A lot of polyamorous individuals will have these kinds of jealousy pockets, if you will. For Hazel, it's possible, I don't know, that she might say, you know what, I don't mind if you get together with another woman that we decide that it's okay. But what I want to be, I want a special spot in your heart, Tarik. I want a special spot. And part of the way that I define that special spot in your heart is that I am your Asian queen, if you will, or whatever, however she sees it. I'm your Asian wife. I am your Asian, you know, special person. And if you get another Asian person, even though I know that's a different person, it'll make me wonder if you're just attracted to me just because I'm Asian, not because of who I am on the inside. There's various different ways why people would have that preference. So I wonder if Hazel will talk about that. Is it because she just independently just doesn't want to be with an Asian woman for whatever reason? Is it because she would just rather be with someone else from another area of the world? Is it that she wants to be that special person in Tarik's heart? I don't know. Let's watch.
She looks Thai. My ideal girlfriend is same as my age, brown color, and not Thai. Because Tarik really loves everything about Thai, especially women.
Right. So for Hazel, she's like, it'd be fine if it was Thai if it wasn't for our past, but I know that Tarik really loves Thai people, loves the country, loves the women there, and that's going to trigger my jealousy in a way that I'm not going to be comfortable with. So that's where I draw the line. It can't be a Thai woman, and maybe it can't be even an Asian woman for that reason. So I'm glad that she is able to identify that and communicate it.
I'm worried if we have another Thai girlfriend, like our ex, Menti. Maybe he gotta care more about the girl than me.
Now, I will say that they're probably going to have to work on that a little bit more than just choosing a woman who isn't Thai. There's probably a lot of conversations that need to happen. They seem to be pretty good about communicating, but it wouldn't be unusual for them to need more communication. And maybe they will along the way. I mean, they're just beginning the journey. But I would suspect that this concern that Hazel has is much bigger than just being Ty. I'm guessing that there's something about watching him being close with another woman. Now, another possibility is that Hazel is looking for a girlfriend, but doesn't really know in her mind or doesn't feel like she can communicate that she just wants the woman for herself and she doesn't want Tarik involved. That's also not uncommon. Plenty of polyamorous people are like, look, I love you and I want to be involved with someone else, but I don't want you involved with them. I'm not looking for us to be involved. I'm looking for me to be involved with someone else, and you can be involved with someone else. And I don't want to be involved with that person romantically or sexually. I'll be their friend, but I don't want to be involved with that person. I want this to be separate. That's a very common polyamorous preference. So I wonder if Hazel has that preference and she doesn't want to see it, or she wants the person all to herself, but she doesn't really know that. She doesn't know how to communicate it. Who knows? It certainly doesn't look that way, because with Minty in the past, they seem to be going well for a while. So maybe that is the configuration that she's looking for. But I don't know. I just have questions.
We've had enough of this. We're not having any luck. 50 or 60% of the people on here are fake. So we need some help. I think, what if we holler at Minnie and ask her.
For what?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know why Minty is coming up. But the other thing I'll say is, and I'm not aware of the apps, but I wonder if they're on the wrong app. Because from my clients that I've talked to about polyamorous dating apps is that they're not 50%, 60% catfishing people. I wonder if they're on some kind of substandard app. I'm not quite sure. Of course, I didn't recognize it from the interface, but from my understanding, there are dating apps for polyamorous people that are, 95% legit people on there, if not more, at least my anecdotal understanding. So I wonder if they don't really even know where to look or how to look or that sort of thing. But anyway, so Tarik is like, we should go to Minty. This should be a good one, because I have no idea what would justify going to her, especially given that Hazel is suspicious of Tarik's feeling and jealous about Tarik's feelings for her.
To get her to help us, maybe give us some pointers on what we're doing wrong.
Okay, he's looking for help. Great. But you could probably just Google it. just go. There's probably a ton of YouTube videos about I wonder if they even know what they are, because they haven't talked about it yet. It wouldn't be unusual, especially for Hazel, given that the language barrier, but Tarik doesn't seem to know that there's this whole field called polyamory. It's a whole community. It's a whole welcoming area. There's all this literature, and I wonder if he doesn't even know what to Google. But I can't imagine that they don't know anything to Google and it would lead them down that road. Just say, what's the best? In fact, I'm going to do it right now. I'm just going to Google it myself. Yeah, I think OkCupid, I've heard of people using that one. I think that it's both for monogamous people and not non-monogamous people. But from a real brief Google, I'm guessing that there's a lot of apps out there that are for hooking up, and I wonder if that's what they're on, is they're on apps for sex hookup, presumably, and of course that's going to attract a lot of catfishing. Why? I don't know, but that seems predictable. So I wonder if they're not on a traditional dating app like OkCupid that is, from my experience from polyamorous people, I'm pretty sure that OkCupid is one. There's others as well. I'm sure. I don't know. Leave a comment below if y'all know. I know a lot of you out there are non-monogamy people.
To have a girlfriend with Tarik, but he only wants to talk about Minty. If Tarik still has feelings for Minty, I don't know how we can get married.
Now, I will say that there wouldn't be anything wrong or anything unusual about Tarik still having feelings for Minty. For him, he is with Hazel, and Hazel says, I want to have a girlfriend. And Tarik is like, I guess I'm a non-monogamous person too. Maybe he had thought about it before, maybe he hadn't. But he goes down that road and they meet Minty, and the three of them really enjoy each other for a while. Then at some point, I can't remember the details, it's been a while since we've heard, but Hazel decided she wanted to end it. And I think because she was seeing too much affection going on, too much warmth going on between Tarik and Minty. Now, for Tarik, it's not like he doesn't have a heart. It's not like he doesn't have an attachment to Minty. You can't just like turn that off if he has an attachment to her. And he's listening to hate, he's like, okay, I'll let this other person into my heart. And he lets the other person into his heart. And then Hazel is saying, I need this to end. I'm guessing Tarik said, okay, you're my fiance, I will end it. But maybe he didn't think about the grief process for him. Maybe he didn't think about how hard it was going to be for him to just reject that person. Maybe he still has feelings for her. That wouldn't be unusual. And that's okay. And it's okay for Hazel to say, I don't want to be with her anymore. I didn't like what I saw. I wanted it to be more me and the woman, and you can fool around with her, but I don't want you to have an attachment to her, and I don't want her to have an attachment to you. I want her basically emotionally, at least, all to myself. And she's, I think, made that at least kind of clear. And that's okay. But at the same time, Tarik might still say, you know what, I think I need to talk with Minty a little bit more. Or could I be friends with her at the very least? Is that okay? Because I kind of miss her. I wonder if there's something like that going on and they don't know how to communicate about it. Wouldn't be unusual.
Is this going to become the norm? Like, is this how it's going to be when you don't want to hear me talking no more? You just...
Sometimes.
Well, I'm just saying, we're not having any luck. We're not finding anybody, and I'm not in a rush.
Are you doing that just to communicate her again?
Okay, great. She's communicating very directly. Hazel is saying, so are you just bringing this up because you just want to talk with her again? I mean, it kind of looks that way because, again, what would Minty know? Now, maybe Minty is some expert on non-monogamy and dating sites. Doesn't seem likely. It seems like Thailand would have a different set of apps. Who knows? But again, with Google, one click away, why wouldn't you do that? I'm sure I just did a quick Google myself, at least try these other sites out anyway. So anyway, Hazel is saying, I don't get it. Are you just saying that you want to communicate with her? Is that what's happening? Let's see what Tarik says.
No, I'm not doing it just to talk with her again.
Then don't ask me.
Boy, oh boy.
Okay, we haven't seen them fight very much, and they're doing pretty well. They're not yelling at each other. They're not escalating. They're not triggering each other. I think there's some damage being done here, though, because I think Hazel was already a little worried about things and has been hurt by Tarik's involvement with Minty after the fact. There was, I believe, earlier in the season where Tarik had agreed he was not going to contact Minty, but then he did because he was worried about her and the virus. And I said back then, there's nothing wrong with Tarik saying, hey, Hazel, I know that you don't want me to contact Minty, but I'm really worried about her. Is it okay if we both reach out to her or you reach out to her and then you tell me? Because I'm just concerned. I'm not in love with her. I'm in love with you, but I am worried about her. There'd be nothing wrong with that. There'd also be nothing wrong with him in this moment saying, hey, Hazel, I kind of miss Minty. I don't want to be involved with her. I love you. I don't want to be with Minty. But I just feel like I need some closure around this. Could the two of us talk to her, or could I talk to her? Or I wonder if something like that is going on for Tarik. But the way that he's going about it, if it is this hidden way of trying to talk to her, obviously isn't helping because Hazel is picking up on that and it's upsetting her. And so I worry about the road they're going down. All right, well, that does it for that episode of Psychology in Seattle. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.